All right, time to get ready for this Trigon Prime boss fight. Now, here's a stim. I do have a Guardian Relic. I don't really need that stim. The Vanguard should probably pick up the stim. They do have a Mortal Wound, but the Tactical could also pick it up. So both of you guys are pretty low here. Yeah, again, I have a Guardian Relic. I'm good to go. You guys are pretty low with health, so please pick up the stim. Mortal Wound. Yeah, Vanguard. I don't know why you're telling me to pick up the stim. You should pick up the stim. This is definitely your stim. It's either your stim or the tactical. Dude, wait, no, somebody pick up the stim. What's with people not taking pickups? I've had multiple operation games now where people just don't take pickups, like not taking stims even when everyone else is fully stocked, or two armor classes not taking the armor boost when it would benefit them the most. Yeah, like Sniper, Vanguard, right? I just want to know what the deal is here. A case of I'm him main characters doing a no pickup run, a misguided desire to save pickups for later or for other players in case they need them. Just pick up the stims and we can move on. Yeah, so the clip I played before reading this post is a clip of me, you know, obviously preparing before we fight Trigon Prime. However, I have two teammates who are at half health, one's at a mortal wound, and yeah, they did not pick up the stim. And I tried to point it out like 5 times. Dude, it's seriously a stationary stim that we're waiting. we are waiting for somebody to pick up before we jump into the boss fight. And yeah, nobody picks it up. Insane. I'm not too sure why this happens. Sometimes I just think people are on their phone or something, maybe. Also, while I'm at it, can people stop playing like their moms just called them for dinner? It's a team-based game. It's a lot more fun working together, and you don't look cool staying still staring at the checkpoint door elevator. What? Lethal and absolute difficulty. Okay, well, this is an interesting post. First of all, this guy clearly has he's been having some rough teammates, it seems. But yeah, dude, when it comes to people picking up stims for whatever reason, yeah, it's people really do just forget about how important it is to heal yourself. No, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely do not know. I can't believe this still happens. Like, this still happens. The funniest thing about this too is just the fact that it's like, dude, you will seriously have a player with a mortal wound kind of just, you know, testing it out. Like, they're just testing the waters a bit. Hey, we have a mortal wound here. Let's just jump directly into this fight, and they're dead. And they're dead. Yeah, it could be pretty frustrating, I guess. Now this person's seeing people not pick up stims in lethal and absolute difficulty. That's pretty wild. I think at least the lowest difficulty I go on now is substantial. And yeah, you'll see stuff like that in substantial, but you really shouldn't see it in lethal or absolute. I really don't think it's an I'm him main character thing. I think they genuinely just don't want to pick it up. they genuinely want somebody else to pick it up. Maybe it's more of a they don't believe in themselves thing for whatever reason. They think the stim is better in somebody else's hands. But yeah, seriously, that clip of us just like kind of waiting around, just looking at the stim before a boss fight, and both of my teammates were at half health, so if they had another stim, they could have popped that stim and then just picked up the other stim. And not to mention the mortal wound. We did have a mortal wound there, which is kind of crazy. So it's like just heal the mortal wound. But yep, we're in patch 9, and players are still ignoring stims, not picking up armor boosts. You know, the same stuff we've been seeing since the launch. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, for whatever reason, people still don't pick up stims. Let's see the comments' reactions to this. Let's see if they're also running into players who aren't picking up stims. From my foxhole, I'd say certain classes are prone to regenerating their own health/armor. Yeah, of course. Vanguard and Bulwark are prime examples. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Vanguard and Bulwark players not picking up stims because they can heal themselves. Perfectly valid point. However, Unmatched Zeal and Invigorating Icon do not heal your mortal wounds. So eventually, you will still need that stim. At least from my point of view, I don't often get pickups as a Vanguard in particular because I can always get 5% health back on majorous kills. There's hundreds to choose from at a given moment. Yeah, fair. And 30% for extremist kills, plenty of them on absolute, so I'd rather my brothers make use of stims. Now, honestly, that's fair. That is 100% fair. I guess maybe at least the clip we had at the beginning of this video, maybe the Vanguard just didn't notice that they had a mortal wound or whatever. But at the very least, I still think you should pick up a stim if you have a mortal wound, right? Everyone agrees with that? But if people are stoked or don't want armor, I will gladly snatch them up. Okay, so yeah, we have somebody who understands, yeah. personally, I try to give stims to those in need. Yeah, sometimes we try and they still don't pick it up, especially if I'm on a class that I'm really good at surviving with. So I'll ping them and then ping to the team member I think that needs it. If neither takes it, then I'll grab it. Not my fault later when they go down. Yeah, that's a good attitude to have. I think this is like my approach to the game as long as I have like purification or unmatched zeal. Unless everyone has a stim, I won't pick it up if I have healing. But if everyone has a stim, I'll pick it up. That said, your second point about standing at the checkpoint, yeah, let's clarify that. I definitely think I kind of misunderstood what they were talking about. It's super annoying to have completed the objective, gone to the door to the next area, and someone decides they want to force the entire team into a needless firefight versus an entire massive wave. Just get on the elevator and let's go. Literally had this happen yesterday at a door next to the loadout drop pod just after the huge open area in Inferno. One guy who had grabbed the Gene Seed on Prestige 3 level 5 Vanguard. Oof. That's, yeah. I mean, Prestige 3 Vanguard still has some pretty good perks, though. Who decided he wanted to walk to the checkpoint once we were already there, and then when an Extremist spawns in, he goes to 1v1 at Biovore. He dies, doesn't he? He had plenty of time to go get into the door and move on. He stood there looking around for like 20 seconds until the Biovore and 2 Lictors showed up, and then proceeded to get one-tapped by the Biovore. Well, he probably got comboed off on, unless he was low health already. I see what they're trying to say, though. Yeah, pick your moments. No, that's fair. I mean, dude, yeah, honestly, this is actually a pretty good subtopic considering that some of these players are jumping into these moments with a mortal wound. I mean, this person didn't tell us he had a mortal wound. They did say that he had the Gene Seed. He stood there looking around for like 20 seconds until the Bivore, 2 Lictors, he got one shot. We had to leave the door open, get ambushed by the Lictors, and then fight through a wave of enemies to res him. This was on Absolute. Tell me why this guy proceeded to go down like 4 more times throughout the rest of the mission, because he would grapple himself into a horde of Majoris, proceed to miss every parry and dodge, and then get torn apart like a wet napkin. All right, that's neither here or there. I don't think that like avoiding a stim or, you know, fighting extremists when you don't need to, I don't think they're mutually they don't mutually exist, in a sense that like bad players are kind of likely to not pick up stims if they don't understand mortal wound mechanics. But you will definitely see good players just take on Biovores at a checkpoint just because they can. It does not seem like that was the case here. Please, people, work with your squad and don't stick around for needless fights. It's one thing to bait the spawn and then close the door on them. That's fine, but please, you don't need to fight every single enemy that spawns. Well, dude, the thing, I can't believe we're talking, this is like a completely different subject, but the thing here is, if this was a Vanguard who actually had unmatched zeal, this is actually a good play. You know what I mean? Just, you know, you get a good fight against extremists without any other waves. It's just extremists. You can definitely, you know, at a checkpoint, you can definitely backtrack at least one step to take out the extremist wave and heal. That seems reasonable. Now, normally the situations where I avoid doing that is normally the situations where we have someone who has a mortal wound, something like that, you know, where if we do fight or we don't have healing, we don't have anything to gain from the fight. But yeah, sometimes it can be, there are checkpoints, by the way, that leave the door open, so if you don't go back and take out those extremists, they'll just come through the door anyway. So I guess this is a fair situation, at the very least, to point out that there are good and bad moments to take a step back and fight extremists for no reason, I guess. Most players don't take more than they need, or if they see someone else needs it more, they'll leave it. It's actually one of the things I enjoy about this community. Yeah, you know what? I agree. At the very least, even the more frustrating moments where people don't, you know, clear their mortal wounds, even those moments still kind of make me laugh a little bit, just because it's like, oh, okay, so you're new. You're new to the game. That's always pretty cool to see. I think it's a little odd seeing people who are in Prestige not understand how to clear mortal wounds, but it's still kind of funny seeing everyone like, hey, do you need that stim? No, brother, you need that stim. No, brother, you need that stim. It is genuinely a funny situation to have in this game that, like, honestly persists. But you can never see it in any other game. In any other game, people are all like just going to, you know, speed run to the healing, speed running to all the pickups and just pick it up for themselves. You know, you see that in games. But yeah, for whatever reason in this game, it's all about making sure whoever picks up the stim actually needs it. Now, in the clip that we've seen before this video, I think it was also a pretty funny clip. But still, pick up stims if you have a mortal wound at the very least. That is pretty wild. But yeah, overall, I definitely think it's a pretty funny, it's a pretty funny problem to have. You know what I mean? It's not like a real problem. Anyone in Absolute who knows what they're doing is going to clear their mortal wounds, but it is kind of funny every now and then to see players in Lethal and Absolute and Ruthless and Substantial, or even Average, I guess. It is pretty funny seeing players kind of just circle around the stim and just point at it. I've never seen it in any other game. Dude, honestly, yeah, I think this comment is fair. It's definitely one of those moments I start to appreciate more as I run into it. But that being said, if it's in higher difficulties and like that stim is there to like clear a mortal wound for somebody and somebody else picks it up, that's probably more of a problem than nobody picking it up at all. You know what I mean? It's like, if the person who picks it up doesn't need it, I definitely think that's a larger issue for the run than, you know, everyone kind of just not picking it up, I guess. I guess it really depends, though. It definitely depends. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Let me know in the comments if you ran into this situation recently. You know, the situation of your teammates not picking up stims. And if you have seen it recently, how often have you seen it recently? Because I would say maybe 5% of my operations recently had something like this. Probably. I mean, the clip that I showed is not the only clip where I've had people kind of just circle around stims, but that was the clip that I actually had. It is, dude, it's honestly such a good clip. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this, and thanks for watching.